Hello, good afternoon. Happy September 7th, Labor Day, everybody. So I do have the little kitty cat up here in the background. Are we going to see a dead cat bounce coming up tomorrow, going into a Labor Day week? So we shall see. Now, if we go back and we look at history too, when we went down in January, it was a holiday week. When we went down in February, it was a holiday week. So potentially be prepared for Thursday, which is also the 10th, which coincidentally might coincide with GAN as well. So lots of good things to keep in mind. I do, if you guys, hey Asif, if you guys do look down in the comment section down below, I do have all the cool sales that I know that are going on, products that I love and products that I use. So I want to share it with you. First of all, if you guys want to subscribe to my watch list, just go to CJ and Trade right here. Close that. Go to Daily Watch List. And then if you are not already a member, you're going to hit subscribe, and then it will go ahead and bring you right to the area where you can go ahead and purchase it. It is 45% off with labor less. So you just go to sign up now, click right here, and then you would just type in labor less right here. Have a coupon code, labor less. There you go. I tested it out earlier. And I bumped it up because I thought, you know what, 40% isn't enough. So you don't have to go for 3 months. There are different time frames, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year. But you can see it'll give you a nice discount right there. Also, TrendSpider. We will use TrendSpider. They are having a 35% off with a free week trial. So if we go to the SPY, this is what I love about it. You can auto draw on it, and you can also put these different levels, which these are volume levels, lines that I have drawn. Now, a level that we might be watching is up here, right up here, roughly at that 350 mark. If we're able to break above, we shall see. And if not, we could potentially break down lower, but I would watch for a test of the trend line here, coming down to the downside, 339, then 338, and right on down here, 336. So definitely check out TrendSpider as well, and Trade Ideas. I use Trade Ideas every single morning to go ahead and scan for my charts. You can just click on it at tradeideas.com or the link right down below, and you'll see you save 20%. All right, so you can check all of those out. Let's go ahead and get into the SPY. So the SPY we have, obviously we are delayed because of Labor Day right now, so I'm going to update the information right here. And we will look at the chart for today. So right now, we definitely have been in a downward trend. Let me look at it over here. So we have been in a downward trend right here, right? We hit new highs, came down, bounced off of my 425 EMA, gapped up. You can see it was roughly the 21 EMA that it sold off of. Now, when we go to investing.com, if you guys do not already know about investing.com, this is a great place, especially on your phone. You can see the indices futures right here, and you can look at it really quickly, and it's even better on your phone because you get to see this snapshot right here. No thanks, I don't want the Canadian edition. So right now, our S&P 500 is up 15 points at 34.33. So that would roughly correspond to right up here at 34.33, just over the 425, 45 minute 425 EMA. So are we going to have a bounce up, potentially come up here, test up to these levels up here? There's definitely a chance. We could definitely test the midline of this upward channel and then potentially sell off from there. Also, if you guys do not already follow me on Twitter, likely you do, but I will go ahead and pull it up because I want to grab the chart that I posted earlier to show you guys. So if you guys happen to see this, on average around Labor Day, so this is the day before Labor Day, right? And then we tend to have a green day after Labor Day. This is one day before, so it's somewhat early, it seems like this year. This seemed to me like Friday, and here was our our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday drop down. So that would all somewhat correspond to what happened back in January and February with our pullbacks. You know, we had lower days, green day, and then pullback on Thursday and Friday. So keeping that on watch for this week. History does repeat itself, right? So let's look at the Qs as well, and we'll check out where we are on the indices over here. So S&P 500, let's see, the VIX is down at the moment. So these are all the futures. Tech is down roughly 0.41%. Right, so looking at that, we might see that we might have a bit of a pullback on the Qs. So that is still down just a little bit from Friday's price action activity, actually from Sunday, because the futures were open yesterday as well. So looking at that, if the Qs start to pull down, they could really pull back. Interesting enough, look at what happened on Friday. Apple closed up on the day. Quite interesting, huh? And we almost look like we might be having an upside down head and shoulders here test on Apple. We have a shoulder, a head, and if this area holds right here, right, then we have potentially another upside down head and shoulders for a move to the upside. Now, anytime that we have gone below, let's look back at history for Apple. When we go below the moving averages, how far down do we tend to go, right? That has not happened for quite a while now. So we can see, hey, we came down here. This was all the way back in July, and it was really short. It was a quick movement, much like we are seeing right now on the price action. Let's get rid of these drawings here. I also believe that TradingView is actually having a sale right now too. One of my buddies uses it, said he got a great deal. So right here, so we pulled back here, here, and then we came up, surged up. It took a couple days, hovering around that 425 EMA. Let's see, even measure it out here. So it took, that's not what I want, undo that. Measure. From our bottom until it started to curl up, it took 6 days. It was also earnings. So that was right before earnings, but it took roughly 6 days for it to go ahead and find its consolidation. You can see when Apple does consolidate, it tends to have a big move, right? Here we consolidated for 6 days, boom, up we went, right? Again, let's check it out here. We consolidated, this move was, this move right here for consolidation, roughly 5 days. So 5 to 6 days, and then there tends to be a bigger movement on Apple. Why? Nobody's winning. The buyers or the sellers, neither one is really winning at that point in time. And so it could be consolidation where they're buying to take it up higher, or it could be disbursement. So they're going to go ahead and take it down lower. Now, usually I have my Sunday watch list that I do live, so much like today. So it's right here. This is my watch list, potential swings as well. So we'll go ahead and I will build it over here on the right for us, and then we'll go over any stocks. If there's anyone that's new, please feel free to go ahead and comment. I will not bite. And where are you guys tuning in from? I see we've got a couple people tuning in. I know Asif is here pretty much every day. He is studying very hard. I have to give him a shout out. He's studying very, very hard. Sending me lots of questions too. If you guys have questions, you can shoot them over to me at jane@cjanetrade.com, and happy to help. Also, if you are new to my channel, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you get to know when I do go live during the week. I do a live stream at 12:15, Monday through Friday, except for holidays. So I can give you a little scan of what I'm seeing. I also follow the dark pools and help educate people on that at thedarkpools.com. So check that out as well. All right, so here we have DLTH, potential move to the upside, potentially, because the market can take it wherever it wants to take it. Much like on Friday when we saw that most of the market was pulling back, there can be sympathetic trades. So most of the market could be pulling back if it's a red day. You have to remember, in general, the market tends to be bullish more than it's bearish. So most stocks tend to go up. However, there are some that have sell-offs, pullbacks, shorts, and everything like that. Hey, Cam Fam. All right, so for Duluth Holdings, it does have 19.8 million in it, so this is a lower float. Look, we had higher than normal volume over the past 2 days, and as long as we can really hold above all of this volume down here, then we're going to go ahead and likely see a further move up. I would watch for a test of 12. I'm going to move that up a little bit higher to 12.75, and I'm going to put support at 12.25. And it was 56% short float volume on Friday. So if we look at it here, it also has a nice cup and handle set up. Do you see this? Right here. Cup, handle. So we have that upward motion. Now we did hit a 425 EMA right here, and it had held no resistance, right? It went ahead and it broke right above it fairly easily. I want to take off my drawing tool here. That's what I want. Let's try this again. There we go. It's just not going to do it. All right, next one. AMD, sure, nine-tailed fox. We will check on AMD. All right, so we have Tilly here, which is a footwear company. Don't know anything about it, but when we look at the chart, you can see that there's pretty strong resistance right up here around that 750 area, right? We've got quite strong resistance. Every time that it came up there, it sold off. So we'd like to see it break above that 750. Now, if we draw a trend line, right? We've got a trend line here. We have an ascending triangle. Look at how it, every time it sold off from there before, it broke down. Well, now we're using that a bit as a support. So we'd like to go ahead and see it break above 750. If it cannot, watch that trend line potentially, and more importantly, roughly 1720 right here. 17, actually I'm pulling it down just a bit, right here. Because every time it sold off there, then it was support, support, support. So we want to see that continue to hold as support. Now Tilly's has 21.9 million in the float. So I'm going to go ahead and put 715 as a support number and 750 for resistance. This is 15 minutes right here, John, for that time frame. What time frame am I using? We also have Broadcom. So when we go back and we look at it on the daily too, you can see that it's primed to have a nice move up, potentially 775, right here, 786, $8, and then on up to test up here, 850. So it might have a nice move to the dollar move to the upside. AVGO, Broadcom. So Broadcom had a nice green day, pulled back, came to our 15 exponential moving average and bounced off of that on Friday. So interesting to see it bounce on a day in which the market was so red. Let's zoom into our 15-minute time frame here. So I would like to see, hey, it had a strong, actually right here, yeah, it had strong support back here, and then that became resistance. So we'd like to see it break above 369.60. Move it up just a hair. Make it 60. Alright. And I'd like to see it go ahead right here. This was an area of resistance in the past, and it pretty much flipped to be support. So 354.40, we'll pull it down to that 20-cent increment. Come on. Alright, 354.40. And if it breaks down below there, look for a test potentially of 351.70 on our 24-day chart. Yeah, 351.70, then on down to 348, and then 345.50. Yeah, my pleasure, John. I usually like to look at the 5 15, 45, 24 hours, and daily chart. Alright, so I'm just typing it into that little spreadsheet because I do post that as well on Instagram every Sunday, but today's like a Sunday for the trading world. So if you guys are curious, you can check it out there as well. And I'll always have a link to the video to explain it, the breakdown of it. Alright, so Cooper, healthcare, medical specialties. You see, I see this strong resistance right here. Came up above, boom, support, support, support. Nope, not anymore, now it's resistance. Alright, so we've now got our support down here, 31.20 and 327. Let's pull it on up just a hair. 327.50, I'm going to say. And 327.60. Alright, then let's go to TTC. So what do you guys think? Oh, could I do a poll over here? I've never done a poll on YouTube. Huh. Can I do a poll? No, I can't. What are your thoughts? Do you guys think we're going to be green tomorrow, or do you think we're going to have further red day tomorrow? I want to know what your thoughts are. Alright. Put this up just a hair. Okay, so 79, I'm going to put it at 75. I'll leave it at 70, right at the 21 EMA. And 80.75 for TTC. Now this has 106 million in the float, and it was 51% short volume on Friday. Nobody wants to jump in and say whether you think that it's going to be a green day or red day in the market tomorrow? I mean, it's a 50-50 chance, right? So it could be either or. You think it'll go red? Okay. You bought Apple on the pullback. Do you think I should have waited sometime? Someone else I follow said wait until it reaches 100. Well, John, I will pull up Apple on my 45-minute chart, and you'll see I really like the 425 EMA. So it came back, but no, it's not. It's on the daily chart that it bounced. And it closed above the 21 EMA. So this, to me, is a potential for it to bounce. Look at all this buying power, end of the day. That doesn't look like it's selling, right? It could just have a little move up here to 124, so I might be, I would look to see, hey, is it going to break above the 125 area, 126? If it breaks above 126, potentially continuing with this upward trend, no issues. But if it goes and it tests 126 and then pulls back below 124, I would personally be getting out if it was me, if I'd gotten in. I would like to get in down here at that 106 level, the 50 simple moving average. So it didn't get to my buy point just yet, but on the average, it's really just trucking up, and it's a pullback. You can see every time that it pulled back, it just surged forward. So buying on the pullback, not so bad. Just make sure potentially, I would have a stop in. I would prepare myself, that's it. So DocuSign. So DocuSign had run up into earnings, pulled back, we hit our 50 simple moving average. And also, John, if you look at it, we also hit the 50 simple moving average on, not yet on Microsoft. We also hit it on Amazon. So we hit it on a bunch of stocks, which tends to be a buying point and a bounce point. So seeing that instilled a little bit of confidence, but more up to the moving averages. Tesla, yeah, I'll go ahead and add Tesla as well, Chile. Let's go through DocuSign really quickly. We'll finish up the list, and then we'll get into all the stocks you guys want to see and chat about. You guys bring some great ideas, so I thank you for sharing as well. It's always fun to see because there's so many in the market, and it's interesting to see what others are watching as well. So DocuSign looks like we had a bit of an upward trend right here going into close from the 1045 area. So for DocuSign, I would like to see it hold 209.40 and break above 220.80 if it's going to retrace back up at all. And then CN. So CN, it seems like we're in a consolidation area right here, right? It came down, the buyers took it up. Again, the buyers took it up here. Quick drop below on Friday, and then it really held above that 43.80 area. And it has pretty strong resistance, it looks like, at 45.80. So I would look for it to break out of this $2 range. If it's in that range area right there, that's going to be more of a consolidation. Hey, let's not touch this right in this box. Let's see if I can move it down a little bit. Right here, let's not touch it in this box because the big guys are just moving it around and manipulating it. Oh, here's a quick trade. Okay, great. It's back in here. Let's not touch it. All right, OXM as well, so Oxford Industries. Now this one is lower float. This does have 16 million in it, so it could drop down quickly or it could rip quickly. So this one's interesting because it had earnings. It's red on the day. However, it looks like they've tested the potential gap up, so might have gotten some longs in right here with a fake out. But if it can break 44.50, watch for that test down here, 43.25, and then further down to 42. Most things had a pullback on Friday in relation to the market as a whole. However, not everything. So let's look at this on the daily as well. So you can see we had that gap down. We were up here at the 200, tested the 50, came all the way down here to the moving average and bounced. So is it going to continue, and is it going to do one of these where it goes up a little bit and then comes down, or is it just going to continue down? Let's look at Momo. So Momo had a sell-off into earnings, right? And Momo has 168 million in the float. We're on our 15-minute chart right now. So I'd look for a resistance to break if it's going to go to the upside of 1580. And if there's going to be more of a breakdown, I would look for down here a breakdown of 1540 and 1580. So let's look at the yearly chart and see how that corresponds. Obviously these are old, we can get rid of these. Alright, let's go back to a 5-year chart. So we've come back to an area that was support or resistance in the past and could potentially become support. We're just below it. So if we break down, maybe a test down here of 1450 and then down to 1372. On the bigger time frame, you guys see the shoulder, head, shoulder, and now we're pulling down. So maybe we found a support area, or it could come back down and test the lower lows down here as well. All right, final one for potential short is CrowdStrike. We're on that weekly chart. Nasty weekly candle there. Spike and sell-off. Right, so we had earnings and it had a big pullback after earnings. Looks like some congested traffic here with moving averages too if it wants to continue to the upside. And I'm going to tighten this up just a little bit actually right here. So if it breaks down, we'd like to see it break down below 121.50. And if it breaks above, we'd like to see it break above 126.40. And it does have 146 million in the float. All right, NC, okay, so these are some of my potential longer term swings that I'm looking at. NCMI, National Cinemedia. So this pretty much has been, it hit the 200 simple moving average, massive candlestick. If we look back for the past 5 years, pretty much the largest candlestick that we have of volume right there. So if we're able to go ahead and fill this gap up, it has a nice potential move up to the $6 mark, $1.40. If we can get up above, this is the weekly chart. This is going to be the 50 weekly moving average at 526. Yes, crowd did rip on Zoom earnings. And then we have some congestion over here as well with potential resistance. So it might hit that 525 and then pull back and then continue on up to $6 from there. And then if it can, look, you can see how the 200 simple moving average on the weekly has acted as resistance, so maybe this will have a run all the way up to 750, potentially. That's pretty crazy volume though, and the largest that we've seen at all in the past 5 years. Another potential long is Zevo. Hi, Stock Boys 7254. is Zevo. Let's go to our daily chart here. So you can see we had crazy volume back here. It is somewhat looking to test that. We have $5 here as a potential test. So if this can break above that $4.50, $5 mark, right? If we can make it above $5, watch out because we might see more institutions buying into it. I don't know this stock at all, but just looking at the chart, it's in a bit of an upward trend right now, right? Let's do this. It's had a nice upward trend. We're bouncing off of the 50 simple moving average. It's still a little under, well, no, look, it bounced off the 425 EMA and also that trend line. So it's still in this upward trend, even though it had crazy moves up, it's bouncing right off of the trend line and the 425 EMA. And I'm not even sure what they do. Let's go right here and just go ZVO, Wall Street Journal. Zovio, financial information, cybersecurity training. Looks like it has to do with cybersecurity. Not sure. Provides post-secondary educational services. There you go. So this is potentially online education. Not sure. All right. And then last potential. John, I do not. Because I know that VWAP can sometimes be skewed, so I do not use VWAP. More use the actual volume and moving averages, because a lot of algorithms are written off of moving averages. So here we go. We've got this trend line. It bounced above. We're now in an upward trend over here, right here, and we're still below it right now. So if we can break above that upward trend line, watch for a test of this moving average right here at roughly 23.30. If we can clear that, a nice potential move on up to $25 right there, then maybe $25.50, and we'll continue to the upside here. Both Stockboy 7254, both. And also swing trade. Alright, so you guys wanted to go ahead and look at AMD, so let's look at AMD. We've got AMD here, a nice buying candlestick with volume right there. We can see the consolidation as well, right? Right here. We had all this consolidation, and it's closed right in the middle of the consolidation that it had before this run up. So they might hold it here if they were buying right here and they didn't liquidate everything they wanted to right here. They might take it and hold it, and it might be a sideways action day because they might be looking to exit their position. But do you guys see that? My eyes. That's why I went to black and white, is just try to see where the volume is in relation to the candlesticks, right? So if we pull it back down here. So if we go below 80.80, I would think it would potentially sell off more. If we can go above 83.80, potential move to the upside. Yeah, I do use volume profile, John, right here. I try not to put it on my charts when I'm going over everything because the yellow lines, at least they're yellow on my chart, can really confuse people. So you can see as well right here that 83.80 is pretty much an area that we need to go ahead and test, plus the 20 simple moving average, plus the 15 EMA right here. So there's a lot of congestion. So if it can break up here with some more volume, it could run to the upside. All right, now you guys wanted to also see Tesla. Ah, nice. Welcome, Mark. What's the weather like in Windsor right now? All right, so Tesla, we have a bit of a pullback, hit the moving averages. We've got this pretty extreme trend line right there. This was from before. Let's go ahead and get rid of that one. So we have a bit of an extreme trend line right here. We have the moving averages that might be curling over. And we might see further pullback to this 50 simple moving average, 326. also this area of consolidation right here. You can see big area of consolidation, and then what happened? It pulled back and it shot up. Are we going to have more consolidation here and then a bigger move up? We did bounce off of the support of this candlestick 394 as well as the 21 EMA right here. Okay, John, you want to let's look at NCLH. NCLH and CCL look like squeezes to me because fundamentally, who is buying cruises right now, right? They say, oh yeah, the bookings or increased bookings, that's great, but are they really increasing sales, or are these people just rebooking the ones that they've gone ahead and canceled due to Corona? Oh, nice. Okay, so we've had this, I like the channel too. Let's go ahead and draw a little channel here. So if we draw a channel right here, actually do it here to here, we're still within the channel, but it might have a bit of a pullback. It could pull back to 1717 and it would still be in that upward trend for me. But it's a bit extended away from the moving averages. I would look to see if this could hold 1780 as support, which is also roughly that 4 EMA right there, and the resistance flipped to be support. Yeah, I heard that they had 2 cruises completed in Europe, which is interesting. I am myself in Canada, a U.S. expat in Canada, and frustrated I cannot see my family without putting 1 month of my life on hold. So RKT, Rocket Company, we just hit the 21 EMA on our daily chart, and it looks like it's bouncing for the moment. However, we're right back at this area. If it breaks down below 24.25, I would watch that for further sell-off to the downside, as we do have more profit taking. We had earnings. It is the 3rd day after earnings. Sometimes it will find a bottom after the 3rd day, but I would not try to catch it without the forward motion already happening to the upside. All right, and Apple we already went over. CRWD we went over. Let's look at Zoom as well. So Zoom had earnings. Same scenario, Zoom pulled back just like Crowd. So it pulled back. Now here, let's see if there's something really cool about this. I haven't done it yet, but it closed just below the 61% retracement. So might have a potential move to the upside there. That would be kind of cool. There was another one that we went over earlier this week. Oh, hey Miguel. All right, yeah, we'll go ahead and look at Lulu. It came in right at perfect timing. So Lulu looks like it's starting to have some profit taking right here with earnings. You see this? Had a pretty strong support, and then they tested it on Friday, and then it pulled back. So it came up, tested it, sold off, and then buyers stepped in, right? If you look at our, yeah, right at open, tested it, also right there at my 425 EMA, and then it rode the 50 SMA down. So if it cannot break above this, I would keep that on watch for a potential short. So would look for another, where's the green line here? What happened to my, I think I had this one flipped, yeah. I would look for it to really tighten this up here and bring this down here. I would do a tighter zone if you want to scalp, and then you could come down, take a quick trade down to 351. If that fails, then back down to 346. Interesting, Mark. Well, maybe, you know, part of it as well is it seems like it's already taken out the people that it was going to take out with the weaker immune systems. Somewhat selection of the fittest, right? Not that that is a positive way to look at it, but it is somewhat of a truthful one. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me at jane@cjanetrade.com. And I do go live 12:15 every trading day, that is Eastern, for roughly 15 minutes, talk about what's going on in the market, what we're seeing, and if there is any awesome, amazing dark pool prints on the SPY. We did see dark pool prints as well as other major holdings over the past 2 weeks. So keeping all of that in mind, I would say at the present time, we pretty much wiped out those past 2 weeks, right? So when the big guys are laying their tracks, we follow them. So we were prepared in the training pit and the dark pools Java pit to go ahead and put on short positions because we saw the massive selling. We've had 2 crazy volume days, and this might be more of a buying opportunity until the end of October. Oh, something else. Let's look at this really quickly. Let me pull this up for you. Actually, I will talk about it. So, while I'm capturing it. So, when we have the seasonality that also coincides with the market, that is also really awesome. I'm looking to see if I posted it on Twitter. If you guys do not follow me on Twitter, definitely check it out because I do post some awesome charts from TrendSpider with trend lines, potential targets every single morning. And I'm going to come on over here. I'm going to grab the seasonality chart for the year of the elections. So I showed you guys what potentially will happen with the with Labor Day, what has happened over the cycles. And here is what tends to happen for the seasonality going into the elections. So September we have a drop down, bump up middle of the month, and then it pulls back hard. And then we continue on up from the end of September on up until a bit of sideways choppy action in October. And then November, boom, nice run up, a little bit of a pullback in December. All right, so thank you, John. Always happy to help. All right, so have an amazing rest of your Labor Day if you do celebrate Labor Day. And I will see you all tomorrow at 12:15. And reach out if you all have any questions. All right, Carpe Profit, seize those profits one trade at a time. Bye.